Good morning, students. This is class 11th, subject chemistry, chapter 6, thermodynamics, and lecture number 2. These are the topics which we will discuss today. We will talk about internal energy and internal energy as a state function. After that, application in which we will discuss about work, then first law of thermodynamics. So first one is internal energy. So whenever any process occurs, it is accompanied by some energy change. The energy can be in different forms like heat, light, work. So in different process, energy is absorbed or evolved by different substance. So we can say that every substance is associated with some definite amount of energy. The actual value of that energy depends on the conditions like temperature, pressure, volume, and its composition. So internal energy is the sum of different types of energy. There are different types of energy like electronic energy, nuclear energy, chemical bond energy, potential energy, and internal energy is sum of all these energies. So here we will define internal energy. The energy stored within the substance is called internal energy, and it is the sum of all the forms of energy that a system can possess. So internal energy is denoted by capital U, and we can change internal energy when heat passes into or out of the system, or work is done on or by the system, or matter enters or leave the system. By these three methods, we can change the internal energy. Now, it is impossible to find exact energy of a system. So, we calculate change in internal energy. And change in internal energy is represented by delta U. Here, delta means change. So, change in internal energy is equal to final internal energy minus initial internal energy of a system. So, U2 minus U1. Now we will change the internal energy of a system. So we can change internal energy of a system by doing work done. Work done can be mechanical work or it can be electrical work. So first we will discuss mechanical work. So here in this experiment, we will do 1 kilojoule mechanical work by rotating a set of small pedals and churning water. Here you can see in the diagram that initial temperature of the water is TA. Okay. And after churning of the water, here you can see that this is the pedal machine. When it will rotate, then churning of water will be there. And it will increase the temperature of water. So, final temperature is TB. Now, TB is more than TA. As temperature is increasing from first to second container, then what will happen? It will result into change in internal energy. So let's assume that internal energy of first container is UA and internal energy in second container it is UB. So what is change in internal energy? It is equal to UB minus UA. This is the change in internal energy. Internal energy of this system is more than first one. Why? Because temperature is more. Here we are doing mechanical work. Now note down the value of delta U. Now in second experiment, we will do electrical work. So we will immerse the electric rod in water. Here you can see that this is an electric rod and it is immersed into water. Then temperature of the container will increase and we will find out initial temperature and final temperature. With temperature, internal energy changes, right? So here, this is TB minus TA. TA is initial temperature of the water when we were not using electric rod. And TB is the final temperature when we were using rod. So TB minus TA, this is the temperature difference. In the same way, you can find out change in internal energy. Okay, so UB minus UA. You will observe when we do same amount of work done on the system like 1 kilojoule. Here work done is 1 kilojoule in electrical work and in mechanical work also the work done is 1 kilojoule. So a given amount of work done on the system, no matter how it was done, irrespective of the path, produce the same change of state. That means change in internal energy will be the same. So it is a state function. So we can say that internal energy is a state function because it depends only on initial and final stage, irrespective of path. Now next is change in internal energy by transfer of heat. We can change internal energy by transfer of heat. Now this transfer of heat can be from surrounding to system or from system to surrounding. So here first we will define heat. What is heat? The exchange of energy which is result of temperature difference is called heat, and heat is represented by small q. So here we will take a container, and the wall of the container is conducting in nature. They are not adiabatic. Adiabatic means when there is no transfer of heat. So these walls are made up of copper. So that means there can be transfer of heat. So the initial temperature is Ta. So this container is enclosed in a heat reservoir. That means temperature around it is more, right? So what will happen? The system, this is a system will absorb energy. Okay. After keeping the container in heat reservoir, it will absorb energy and temperature inside will increase. So we will note down the temperature. It will be Tb. Now note down the temperature difference. Tb minus Ta. Here volume is constant and no work is done. So we can say that delta U is equal to Q. That means change in internal energy is equal to heat. Now here these are the two important points, that heat is positive when heat is transferred from surrounding to system. Okay, when heat is transferred from surrounding to system, then value of Q is positive. But when heat is transferred from system to surrounding, then value of Q is negative. These are the sign convention, that Q is positive when heat is transferred from surrounding to system. But value of Q is negative when heat is transferred from system to surrounding. So note down these 2 points. Now we will take a general case when change of state is done by both work and as well as heat. So delta U is equal to Q plus W. That means change in internal energy is equal to heat plus work done. If heat is equal to 0 and work done is equal to 0, then what will happen? The change in internal energy will be equal to 0. This first equation is known as first law of thermodynamics. According to first law of thermodynamics, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, and energy of an isolated system is always constant. That means always same. Now here we will study some application. So first one is work, pressure, volume. Work. So here we will take a cylinder and it contains 1 mole of an ideal gas. And here a frictionless piston is fitted. You can see here in the diagram that this is the cylinder, and in the cylinder this is the piston. Okay. And gas is filled here, and this gas is ideal gas. Total volume is V and pressure of the gas is capital P, and the pressure which is exerted from the outside is known as P external. Ex represent external pressure. Okay. Now when external pressure is more than internal pressure, then what will happen? This piston will move in inward direction and volume will decrease. Okay. So let's assume that this is the initial volume, okay? But when piston moves in inward direction, then it will reach to this point. This is the final volume. So it is represented by Vf and initial volume is represented by Vi. When piston moves in inward direction, then external pressure is more than the internal one. Okay, so we can write that P external is greater than P. Now, distance moved by the piston is small l. Here you can see that this is the distance which is travelled by the piston. The cross-sectional area of piston is capital A. Okay. And volume change is delta V. We can write that L into A, length into area. Delta V is also equals to final volume minus initial volume. Okay, so delta V is equal to L into A as well as final volume minus initial volume. We know the formula, pressure is equal to force by A. So here if we shift area in this side, then what will happen? It will become force is equal to pressure into area. Now formula of work done is force into distance, capital F into D. So here D is the distance which is equal to small l. Here you can see that this is small l, and force is equal to pressure into area. So we can put value of force in this equation. Okay, because force is equal to pressure into area. So put this value in this equation. It will become P external. So we can write this pressure as external pressure because we are applying pressure from the outside. So P external into area into length. Now area into length is equal to delta V. From this equation, we will put the value of delta V, which is equal to length into area. So here, when we will put the values, it will become minus P delta V. This negative sign shows that there is change in volume, and we will use it in sign convention. Now, when we compress the gas, then pressure is not constant, or we can say pressure is not same at each step. So here we will sum up the work done on the gas at each step. So here we can write that W is equal to minus summation sign then P delta V. Here we will do integration from V1 volume to V2. Now here work done is equal to P external into dV. Now external pressure is equal to internal pressure plus minus dP. Now external pressure can becomes equal to internal pressure of the gas only when there is addition of small pressure dP or subtraction of small pressure, that is dP. So here we can write that external pressure is equal to internal pressure plus minus dP. Now we will integrate it with respect to volume. First multiply dV by P internal. Okay, that means internal pressure. Then it will become internal pressure into dV. After that, multiply dV by dP. Now this d stands for small change. dP and dV value is very small. Product of dP and dV is very small, so we can neglect it. So we will not write it in the equation. Now reversible work is equal to minus integration from initial volume to final volume P internal into dV. From ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT, right? So here we will find out value of P. So P is equal to nRT by V. Volume will go in denominator. Now we will put value of P in this equation. Okay. So here when you will put the value, then it will become nRT by V, right? nRT by V. So here you can write it like in this way. nRT dV by V. Now we will integrate it. nRT is constant. Okay. So we will keep nRT outside the integration sign, and here we will integrate 1 by V with respect to dV. Okay. When you will do integration of 1 by V, it will be natural log of V. Okay. And when we will put the limits, initial volume and final volume, then it will become natural log final volume divided by initial volume. This is integration part. Okay, this is just calculation. Now here we have to remove natural log. How you can remove natural log? By multiplying it with 2.303. So natural log will convert into log. So the equation will become minus 2.303 nRT log final volume divided by initial volume. Now this is the derivation for work done in isothermal and reversible expansion of ideal gas. Now isothermal and free expansion of an ideal gas. Free expansion means now there is no external pressure. So that means work done will be equal to 0. Q will be equal to 0. So delta U will be equal to 0. Now this is a formula for irreversible change and this is for reversible change. For adiabatic change means when there is no transfer of heat, right? No transfer of heat means value of Q is equal to 0. Now you know what is the first law of thermodynamics. Delta U is equal to Q plus W. If Q is equal to 0, that means delta U will be equal to adiabatic work done. So that's all for today, students. Now we will discuss homework of lecture number 1. Question number 1 is choose the correct answer. A thermodynamic state function is a quantity used to determine heat changes whose value is independent of path, used to determine pressure volume work, whose value depends on temperature only. So correct answer is whose value is independent of path. Okay. So correct answer is second one. Next question. For the process to occur under adiabatic conditions, the correct condition is delta T is equal to 0, delta P is equal to 0, Q is equal to 0, W is equal to 0. So for adiabatic condition, heat is equal to 0. That means Q is equal to 0. So answer is third part. Now you have to do question number 7. Note down this question. If you have any doubt or queries, you can ask me on my email ID. Thank you and have a nice day.